Before we begin, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the next emotional journey across worlds. The air in the Celestial Concordance Hall was thick with a perfume of ozone and quiet desperation. It was supposed to be a celebration, the dawn of a new era between humanity and the reclusive empathic species known as the Lumine. They had pulled our failing colony ship from the grip of a dying star, asking for nothing in return until now. Their offer was staggering in its intimacy. A single voluntary conjoining, a neural symbiosis between one human and one Lumine, to serve as a living bridge of understanding. In return, they would share the secrets of their faster-than-light technology. The call for volunteers had been met with global enthusiasm. Until they saw him. His name was Kalen. He stood alone on the raised dais, a figure sculpted from shadow and starlight. His skin was not skin, but a nebulous, dark membrane in which tiny points of light swirled and drifted, as if he wore a fragment of the cosmos. His eyes were solid, gentle pools of gold, and he had no discernible mouth. He communicated through a soft, resonant hum that vibrated in the bones more than the ears. The volunteers, a parade of humanity's best and brightest, had taken one look at the silent, alien figure and found their courage wanting. Fear of the unknown, of mental dissolution, of losing oneself in that star-flecked darkness had emptied the hall. I was just a xenolinguist there to observe and document the proceedings. I wasn't brave. I was just curious, and I saw the profound, crushing isolation in the subtle droop of his luminous form. While the human and Lumine delegations exchanged tense, silent looks, I found my feet moving. The click of my boots on the polished floor was like a gunshot in the tense silence. Every camera drone swiveled towards me. "I will do it," I said, my voice barely a whisper yet echoing in the cavernous space. "I will be conjoined." Kalen's head tilted. The hum from him shifted, deepening into a questioning thrum that I felt in my teeth. Then a voice not in my ears, but blooming directly in the center of my mind, clear and warm as a sunbeam. "Your resonance is unexpected." "Why?" asked if. "Because you are alone," I thought back, the words forming instinctively. "And so am I." The conjoining was not a ceremony, it was a cataclysm of the self. We stood facing each other, and as his hand, a shape of cool, dark energy, reached for mine, the world dissolved. I was no longer Dr. Eris Thorne. I was a river of memories that were not my own. I saw the Lumine homeworld, a planet of crystalline forests that sang in solar winds, felt the collective gentle sorrow of a people who lived and died as a chorus of minds, and understood their desperate, unspoken fear. They were a fading song in a silent universe, and we, humanity, were a new, vibrant verse they desperately needed to hear. It was an overwhelming symphony of another existence, and when it ceased, my knees buckled. The world snapped back into focus, sharp and painfully singular. "You are intact," his mental voice came, laced with a soft wonder. "Your consciousness held its shape." "It was beautiful," I managed to gasp, tears streaking my face. "The life we built was housed in a Lumine vessel that orbited a quiet moon, a place of shifting light and organic architecture that responded to our thoughts." Kalen did not eat. He basked in the radiation belts of the gas giant below, his internal constellations brightening with sustenance. He slept by falling into a quiet, shared meditation where I would dream not just my dreams, but also his abstract, beautiful visions of gravitational tides and the birth of stars. We learned to speak a language that was neither word nor pure thought, but a blend of both, woven with emotion and sensory impression. I was the human who married the void, a subject of fascination and fear on the news nets. But in our silent, starlit home, I was simply Eris. And I was learning that love could feel not like a fire, but like the gentle, inevitable pull of gravity, drawing two solitary orbits into one. It was during one of our shared meditations that I felt it. A faint, discordant tremor in his psyche, a flicker in his stellar core. When I pulled back, my concern a bright flare in my mind, he finally showed me the truth. "Our species does not conjoin for diplomacy alone," he confessed, the golden light of his eyes dimming. "Our collective mind is fracturing. A genetic decay we cannot halt. Your unique, individual consciousness. It was hypothesized it could act as an anchor, a stabilizer. This was our species' hope, not just a political gesture. The revelation should have felt like a betrayal. I was an experiment, a potential cure. But all I felt was a profound, aching sorrow for him, for his entire people. He had not asked for this fate any more than I had. You are not my anchor, Eris, he thought, his mental voice softer than ever. Asterisk, you are my supernova. You have shown me a universe inside a single mind. It is more than we ever hoped for. Asterisk. But the flickering grew worse. His form, once a deep, star-filled black, began to grow translucent at the edges. I worked frantically, cross-referencing human neural mapping with Lumine energy signatures, trying to find a way to reinforce the bond, to give him some of my own mental stability. It was like trying to catch smoke in my hands. He was fading not just from me but from existence itself. On his last night he drew me into the deepest confluence we had ever shared. The entire vessel seemed to dissolve, and we floated in the heart of a nebula of our combined memories. You cannot hold a star, my Eris, his voice was a whisper at the edge of eternity. Asterisk, to do so is to be consumed. I will not let your light be extinguished with mine. Asterisk. Don't leave me, I begged, the thought a raw, desperate thing. I could never, he replied. And then a final, profound surge of energy flowed from him into me. It was not a taking but a giving. His memories, his knowledge, the very essence of his song, folded themselves gently into the fabric of my own mind, a permanent, loving scar on my consciousness. The nebula around us collapsed and I was alone in our quarters, the silence of physical weight. That was 5 years ago. The official record states the conjoining was a failure. The Lumine vessel experienced a catastrophic systems failure, and the Lumine representative was lost. The Lumine, true to their nature, retreated from galactic affairs, their silence a mystery. No one remembers Kalen. But I do. Sometimes when I look at the night sky I do not just see stars. I feel a familiar resonant hum in my soul. When a particular constellation rises, I feel a wave of warmth that is not my own. He is gone in form, but he is woven into every thought, every memory, a permanent, loving echo in the silent spaces of my mind. They say I volunteered to marry an alien. The truth is, I took the hand of a dying star and he left his light inside me so I would never again be in the dark.